Hello everyone, last video we have used this ESPHome to configure this relay output and this digital input, and you can use the Home Assistant to control relay and monitor your sensor state. In this video I will show you how to link this input with this output so that you can control by your wall switch and by different wall switch in Home Assistant and configured by ESPHome. I will show you step by step how to test and debug with your wall switch. Okay, let's look at this wall switch. This is launch switch, just a traditional switch. We will use this one. And this is another switch that is momentary. You can see my button. This is self-reset. So this is interface, and this is two different interfaces because this have COM, NO, and NC, normal open, normal close. This just only dry contact. So every button will have one wire, and this is COM, is ground. So you can see this is launched. This is launched, and this is self-reset. Let's test it, and we can use a multimeter. Just listen to the sound, and I have connected with two wires. That is switch 1, button 1, because it have a 4-channel button. So this first one. So we will test with this 2 wire. So you can see I can test this 2 point. That is off. This is on. This is off, and this is on. Okay, this is the first one. That for launch type. And this is another side, another momentary wall switch. I also have connected with this 2 wire because we will connect to ESP32 digital input. So I can also test this 2 point. Just this 2 point. And you can listen. This button. On, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. So this is self-reset. Okay. So first we understand the different wall switch, the principle, and the next we will connect to our ESP32 board. Okay, you can see this is our ESP32 board, that is A4, and I will connect with the digital input. The digital input 1 I will test with this traditional switch, and the digital input 2 I will lit and connect with this momentary wall switch. So at the first, I connect this to 1. So this I can connect with the ground. That is ground. And another I will connect with this D1, that is digital input 1. So this orange I will connect to this D1. Okay, you can see I have connected this to 1 with the digital input 1 and the ground. So I will use this button to control this relay 1 for on and for off for testing. Okay, and the next I connect with the USB cable because I need to download the firmware from the USB cable from Raspberry Pi. And this is a power supply, DC 12 volt power supply. So I can connect with it. And this LED that is indicate of the digital input 1. So I can close it firstly. You can see that is digital input interface. Okay, the hardware is ready. Now we will test from our ESPHome. Because before we have created the Home Assistant dashboard, you can see I can turn on and turn on relay 2, relay 3, and relay 4, and off. And also you can see this is digital input. If I can monitor this input 1, if I switch on, and you can see this is on and this is off. So the switch is on and switch off. Now I will show you how to link this input 1 to this output 1. So you can see here from the ESPHome that have binary sensor components have supplied this on press and on release. That means the key is on press or on released. So these two different positions we can set to the different action. Just let this turn on relay 1 and this turn off relay 1. So that will be easy for the logical. It's the simplest a demo for turn on and turn off relay. So you can see I can press this press code, you can see. So we can just copy these three commands. Copy and paste at ESPHome and click A4 and find out this input 1 binary sensor, and at here we can insert the command at here, paste, unpress the key unpressed, we need to turn on relay 1. So you just need to replace this relay 1. This is what's the ID. So you can see the relay 1 ID is A4 output 1, so we can just copy and paste that here, replace it. Okay, now you can see I can press save and install and download from the USB cable. Okay, now you connect successfully. I can click this stop and back to overview and dashboard and pay attention to my home assistant. You can see the state and the relay state. And you can see if I press this button, that relay will be on. So you can see in my dashboard, this is on and this is on. So that have linked the input and work with the output to turn on. But you will find if I turn off, you can see I turn off the switch, but this output not turn off. So I need to add this another command, let the input become off and the relay will be off. So you can see we can also go to this ESPHome and press edit, and you will see that we only insert the on press, and this time we need to add this on release. This on release just means this key button is up. So we can copy this code. Just copy this code. It's very easy. And copy and paste it here. And just replace this is on release, not is on pressed. So it's unreleased. Then you just choose to turn off. Why you need to change this turn on and turn off? And you can see here the switch components that support the action. Which actions? You can see the switch can turn on action, turn off action, and later I will show you the toggling action. So let's look at here, and now you can press save and download this code, install and download again. We will try to test the switch button again. Okay, download complete. Now we will test it and go to the dashboard and pay attention to my home assistant. You can see when I turn on, this relay is on, and you can see the state is on and the state is on. Now I can press again. That is turn off. So the relay is off. You can see the relay is off, the state is off. So you can see this time I can use this button to turn on and turn off and turn on and turn off by this wall switch. And you will see this is work well, but there are one problem at here. You can see if you have turned on this relay 1 by this wall switch, but if I turn off this switch, you can see I turn off by the home assistant. But if this time when people need to turn on the light, you can see I need to turn off and turn on again. So you need to press 2 times for one button. So it's not convenience. So because if I use this wall switch and you use this home assistant, so that the state will not always at the same. So next, so I will show you, we can use this toggling command so that you can press by home assistant software or by the wall switch at any time. The state will also be changed. And this time we configure it by toggling command. So you can click edit and just replace this action that is toggling, not use turn on and turn off, because it doesn't matter what's the state before. So I can just copy this toggling and replace with this one, and replace with this one. Okay, just when you press this button, the relay changes state. When you up the button, the relay changes state. So you can press save and install. Let's look at what is the result with the wall switch. Okay, we can click stop and back to the Home Assistant dashboard. Let's test again. I can turn on and turn off, no problem. I can turn on, and now I use the Home Assistant to turn off. Okay, now pay attention to my button. This time, if I click, that is turn on, not turn off. So the just change the state is different, toggling this relay. So I can use my two hands, one hand for Home Assistant, another hand for the wall switch. You can see, if I change the state by wall switch and change the state by Home Assistant and turn off and change it. So you can see, I can change the state in any way. So this time you can see the relay state can both used by menu control button and both by the ESPHome Assistant software. You not need to remember the switch button is high, is open, or the down is closed. No problem. So this is how to use this toggling. So this is all the switch we can integrate to Home Assistant by the ESPHome. And then next we'll look at the momentary switch, how it works. It's also very easy. I think the momentary switch, just you need to change one command, so that will be easy. Okay, let's look at use this momentary switch and connect this one to digital input 2. I connect this yellow cable to this digital input 2. Okay, this is digital input 2, and the orange is digital input 1. And connect this ground cable and to this together. The two wall switch ground I can connect together. This is switch 1, this is switch 2. You can see this button, digital input 2, and this button, the digital input 1. So these two buttons I have added to Home Assistant wheel. And you can see I press this button in Home Assistant dashboard, that will auto reset. So now I will add the digital input 2 to ESPHome. So you can see it here, edit, and I just copy this command. Copy and paste it here, that is digital input 2. And you need to delete this code on release because it will auto reset. So we not need to running some release command. So just click it and only use this on press. And this time I need to control this output 2. So this input 1 for output 1 and the input 2 for output 2, because output 2 this is ID. So I can change this for output 2. And okay, we can press save and press install. And with for a moment, let's look at the different buttons for the different actions. Okay, it's complete. And press stop and back to dashboard. Okay, let's look at. So you can see this wall switch. I can press this button. Relay 2 is on, relay 2 is off. And relay 2 is on, relay 2 is off. So if I can press this button and turn off on Home Assistant and turn on this button, and also I can turn on by this Home Assistant and turn off by this button. So this button only targeting this relay state. And the Home Assistant also can turn on and off the relay state. So this you can use this one for on and for off. And this one also can for on and for off. Okay, I think now you can use the Home Assistant to work with the wall switch for on and for off and for targeting. And if you want to use a more powerful function for the ESPHome, you can see the binary sensor components also will support different functions for one click and double click and multi-click, so that you can use one button for different actions, such as one click, turn on sound relay, and two click, just double click and turn all on sound relays, and double click and make some different sound relay on and sound relay off. So it's up to you. Okay, this is how to use the wall switch with the ESPHome. Thanks for watching.